Really important topic in this day and age of dentistry. As we can see, there's an absolute boom in digital dentistry. We can see it all around us. Intraoral scanners, 3D printers, and now face scanners are entering the scene. So, in today's webinar, in the next 45 minutes or so, and hopefully at the end, you'll have some questions which I will be able to answer. I will just tell the team, please, everyone, mute yourselves and we'll make a start. So a big welcome and thank you for joining this webinar. Big thanks to the Ray team. Now, before we start, I just wanted to introduce myself. My name is Dr. Ahmad Hassiny. Some of you may have seen me or seen the company that I run, Institute of Digital Dentistry. You may have seen me online. So I graduated from the University of Otago, and I just want to break the ice, get to know each other a bit. And I started working in private practice about 8 years ago. And nowadays I work alongside my father and my brother, who you can see on the image on the right there. And we run a group of practices in Wellington, New Zealand. So I did my studies in New Zealand and I went straight into private practice. So between us, we have a family business. We run about 7 clinics now, and that ranges from about 4 chairs to 13 chairs. So they're quite large clinics. In total, we have about 39 chairs we are running. So that keeps us plenty busy. And this is one of our clinics here. You can see that we really love dentistry. Not only how interesting it is with all the digital technology, but how rewarding it is as a job. And we also run IDD Lab. It is a fully digital lab. You can see some of the team here on the right. We have 5 full-time technicians at the lab, and we have everything you can imagine. So as you probably may have seen my reviews on intraoral scanners, I've used almost every intraoral scanner on the market. And we also use 3D printers, CAD/CAM software, etc. Now, why this is quite interesting is because I see both sides of the dental market. I see the side of the dental market from a dentist point of view, and also not just from my own point of view, but because we hire so many associates. And I also see dentistry from the point of view of the lab. So I'm currently in the clinic. I just finished work today. It's 8 p.m. and I know I might be a little sucker for pain, but I couldn't say no to joining the Ray team on this webinar. And just behind this wall, right behind me, is this lab. So I have a direct contact with our lab all the time. And I've been using the Ray face for over a year now. We got the Ray face in our clinic in, which month was it? It would have been August or September last year. And so over the year and a half, we've been using Ray face extensively. I'm actually quite proud to have been one of the first people in the country that had a Ray face. And well, it was actually one of the first Ray faces in Australasia. Here I am with the Ray Australia team. And honestly, guys, face scanning has been a complete game changer for us in our practice and in our lab. And in particular in our lab. And that was really what was most interesting for me. And what I mean by that is I'm a dentist just like you guys. I work full time. I do everything from crown and bridge to cosmetic cases, orthodontics, aligners, etc. And also dabbling in implant dentistry, all on X. And really face scanning essentially helped improve communication with our lab tenfold. It was a complete game changer. And when I first got the Ray face, I had it as a trial unit, and I actually purchased the Ray face privately. I had it as a trial unit, and what really made me purchase the face scanner was I simply went to our lab technicians and I asked them, after trialing it for a few months, is this worth it? Does this actually benefit us? Is it better than taking photographs, which we were doing before? And without a doubt, they said, yes, this is amazing. It's giving us so much data. It's helping us with our work. It's reducing redos. So at that point, I knew this is the future of dentistry. And that's enough about me and our clinic and what we're up to. Really, what I want to discuss today is the what, the how, and the why of face scanners. I really want to go over everything you need to know. What is a face scanner? Some of you may have no idea. How does it work? How do you implement it in the clinic? And why should you even bother? So let's just jump in and tackle the elephant in the room here. Obviously, I've been invited on a Ray webinar series here, and you would expect me to say just amazing things. But I do want to let you guys know that I already reviewed the Ray face back in January. You can go onto the IDD website and check out the full review, and the team had no involvement in writing this or restricting any conclusions we made, as we are well known in the industry for objective reviews. So I've talked about the pros and the cons of the Ray face in detail. There's a long YouTube video. You can go check that out. If you don't know where to check it out, just go to instituteofdigitaldentistry.com, go to our blog and go to all articles, and you will find the review there. We also review all intraoral scanners, or even easier, if you just Google Ray face review, you will find us as the top hit. So those of you who are interested in the Ray face, I strongly recommend you'd look at that review and look at it in detail if you're thinking about buying this face scanner, because there's only so much I can cover in 45 minutes. So what is a face scanner? What exactly does it do? How does it work? These are questions that I think some of us intrinsically think we understand, but I'd like to really just break it down. And so this is what the Ray face looks like. I mean, one thing I really like about it is it's super futuristic looking. Patients love this thing. They always comment about, how high tech it is. And as a clinic and as a business, we've really established ourselves as high tech and leading the market in this sort of field. But this is basically the Ray face in a nutshell. So you have a face scanner and you have a software. And so you need to go find your own laptop and install the software there. And the Ray team are incredible. They help you out a ton. But the point is that it is a desktop face scanner. So as you can see, it sits on a desk. And if you want my advice, get one of these standing desks. So that's how I have the Ray face, on a standing desk that can move up and down, because your patients will vary in height, of course. The other thing that I like is just to put it somewhere like the OPG room or some room where it's accessible by all clinicians. And one thing in particular that I like about the Ray face, and I'll get into that, is just how quick and easy it is. With such a big team, it's so important for me to be able to delegate this out to others. So this is what the Ray face software looks like. I mean, it's quite straightforward, guys. A face scanner is kind of like your intraoral scanner. Most of us are familiar with digital impression devices, and this is no different. This is just a scanner for the face. So rather than doing an intraoral scan, you are doing an extraoral scan. And this is what it looks like. It makes a 3D accurate model of the patient's face. And a lot of you, if this is the first time you see something like this, it's quite mind-blowing that we have this sort of technology. And I think already you can think and realize the benefits of this. And I'll tell you guys, there are a lot of benefits for a dentist, but most of the benefits are for your lab, which basically benefits for you by proxy. And what I mean by that is, if you give all this data to your lab, you're going to reduce redos, reduce errors, reduce problems with lab work and cans and all these cosmetic issues. And so how does a face scanner actually work? Well, in the case of the Ray face, it's got 6 high-res cameras, and you can see them numbered there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, one at the bottom. And in essence, how this scanner works is, with a click of a button, it takes 6 images simultaneously and stitches them together to make a 3D image. Now, there's a lot of face scanners on the market now. Most of them are not for dental. There's some dermatology products. And so face scanning technology varies, whether it's like 3D lasers, structured light, high resolution cameras, stereo photogrammetry. There's all these different types of technology, including LiDAR. But in the case of dentistry, one of the most common is just high-res cameras and stitching all that together. And that's really what the Rayface does. And what I also want you to note with the Rayface is it has this ring, this LED ring, which I'll highlight for you here. This LED ring is also extremely useful in keeping the light standardized. And that's something I'm going to discuss later on when I discuss the differences between just taking a photo. But the fact that it has this light inbuilt just means you're getting the same quality of light, the same type of light every single time you take that image.